Explained daily family. Close your eyes for a second. It's 1995. You're 35, 45, maybe 55. You're in the car. The radio turned just low enough so no one hears you laughing. And then that voice comes on, asking questions no one else would dare, saying things no one else would risk saying. If you're over 45, Howard Stern wasn't just a shock jock. He was the guy who said what we were all thinking. The guy who made mornings feel dangerous and hilarious at the same time. And now, after months of rumors, anxiety, and nonstop speculation, the news is finally official. Howard Stern has extended his contract with SiriusXM for 3 more years. The king of all media is not retiring. He's staying right where he belongs. Howard, now 71, announced the news live on The Howard Stern Show. SiriusXM confirmed the extension shortly after. 3 more years. And for fans who grew up with his voice in their ears, it felt like a collective sigh of relief. Social media exploded. Howard forever. 3 more years with the king. Best news of the year. If you ever quoted Baba Booey at work. If you ever hid the dial from your kids. If Howard was part of your morning routine, grab a coffee. Because today, we celebrate the man who changed radio forever. Howard Allen Stern was born on January 12, 1954, in Queens, New York, and raised on Long Island. His father, Ben Stern, was an audio engineer. His mother, Ray Stern, later became a therapist. Howard was shy, awkward, and often bullied. Radio became his escape. At 15, he built a radio station in his basement. While others were hanging out, Howard was learning how voices connect. After studying communications at Boston University, he worked at small stations, slowly sharpening his edge. Then came New York. At WNBC in the 1980s, Howard pushed radio further than anyone before him. He was fired for being too outrageous. That firing changed everything. At WXRK, the Howard Stern phenomenon exploded. By the 1990s, he was the most talked-about broadcaster in America. Fined, criticized, imitated, but never ignored. Yes, he shocked. But more importantly, he listened. Callers felt heard. Celebrities dropped their guard. Interviews went deeper than any late-night couch ever allowed. Robin Quivers, his co-host since 1981, became family. Fred Norris, Jackie Martling, Artie Lang, the voices we grew up with. Howard wasn't just doing radio. He was redefining it. In 2006, after years of battles with the FCC, Howard made a historic move. He left terrestrial radio and joined Sirius Satellite Radio in a groundbreaking deal that reshaped the industry and opened the door for creative freedom. In 2020, Stern re-upped his contract in a deal widely reported to be worth between $450 million and $500 million over 5 years. One of the largest talent contracts in broadcasting history. So when rumors surfaced last year that his contract might end, fans panicked. Reports claimed the show was canceled. Insiders suggested SiriusXM was ready to move on. Speculation exploded online. Even Howard joked about it. At one point, he and fellow SiriusXM star Andy Cohen joked on air that Cohen would take over Howard's time slot. Funny, but unsettling. For months, fans waited. Then, on December 16, 2025, Howard finally ended the speculation. Live on his show, he announced a new 3-year contract extension with SiriusXM. While the exact value of the new deal has not been disclosed, industry observers believe it is expected to be in the same general range as his previous agreement, reflecting Stern's continued importance to the company. Howard explained that the new deal allows him to have it all. More free time and more time on the air. He said his audience means too much to walk away. He also shared that the decision depended on one person above all, Robin Quivers. Howard said that if Robin wasn't willing to continue, he wouldn't do the show without her. Robin agreed. And just like that, the show continues. SiriusXM confirmed the extension, calling Stern a cornerstone of the company and a defining voice in modern broadcasting. For longtime fans, this wasn't just business news. It was personal. If you're over 45, Howard Stern wasn't background noise. He was there for your commute, your stress, your laughter when life felt heavy. Some of us found him young. Some found him later, after careers, marriages, kids. We grew up with him. We heard him grieve his parents, talk openly about therapy and mental health, find love with his wife, Beth. And this week's news felt like a friend saying, I'm not leaving yet. So what do 3 more years mean? More conversations that feel real. More laughter. More honesty. More Howard being Howard. At 71, he's still sharp. Still curious. Still fearless. And now, with more balance and less pressure, the next chapter could be one of his best. So tonight, stream an old segment. Laugh at Baba Booey one more time. Text the friend who listened with you in the 90s. Because the king isn't stepping down. If this video brought back memories of your Howard mornings, hit like. Share it with the coworker who quoted Stern at the water cooler. And subscribe to Xplained Daily for more stories that matter. One last question. What is your all-time favorite Howard Stern moment? A classic roast? A shocking call? Or one of his deep interviews? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. This is Xplained Daily, keeping the king on the air. See you in the morning.